I got a call, I think around 1 from our emergency call center, which is like a building next door. From our call center, emergency call center, that is the center where our residents will normally call us to get receive if there's emergencies, if there's fires, there's accidents, they will call that emergency call center number. So what happened is the lady who was on duty on the night, she called me to say that there's a fire. She was actually looking at our CCTV cameras to say that she can see people who are trying to jumping out of the building there. It looks like there's a fire in town at the corners of Alberts and Delvas in Johannesburg CBD. I think us as emergency services personnel, individually it affected us differently. Yes, it's on a day-to-day basis, we do normally respond to fire incident where people lose their lives, like in the process of that fire incident. But I think on this one, it was very tragic, because we had a lot of people who lost their lives in the process. Some they did try to jump out of the building. Some they were bent beyond recognition. Some sustained injuries. Some sustained minor injuries. So yeah, it was a very devastating tragedy for us, and I'm just happy that we managed to do what it was expected from us. I think above all, I must acknowledge the extraordinary courage, the bravery, and the selfless service which was displayed by our colleagues or members of the City of Johannesburg EMS, and also our colleagues from JMPD and South African Police Service, and of course our paramedics from Gauteng Emergency Medical Services. I will say generally everybody, all the emergency services personnel who were on the ground on the day did outstanding well. So I think we need to commend them for a job well done, which they managed to execute on the day. So I think I got there around 1:30 there. I was like one of the first few people, the first responders to get into the scene. Of course, when I got there, I think the guys from Fairview were already on the ground. Yeah, people were screaming. Some they were trying to get their belongings, whatever they can save. Some they were running away with their mattresses, whatever, blankets, whatever, some of those belongings which they could grab at the time. And of course, sadly, there were those people who tried to jump. Yeah, I could just see like bodies lying on the side of the building for those ones who were who jumped out of the building at the time. I still have a picture of a lady. This lady, she actually broke down. She was actually crying for the baby. I think this baby was wearing I think it's a black crawler. What do you call it? This baby's, crawler, black one and a white top. I've got I can actually see the baby. So she wanted to do something. It's just that she didn't know what is it that she wanted to do, but it looks like she really wanted to wake the baby up, but the baby was already, Yeah, as and when in that commotion, in that confusion, she was there. As and when we were busy doing whatever we were doing, when I looked at a certain area, I just had that picture of her. And for a moment, I didn't know really what to say to her. I just said to her, you know what, everything will be fine. Because I didn't know what is it that I can say, what is it that I can, which kind of words can I be able to tell her which is going to comfort her. But I think that picture really, really disturbed me the whole day, that day, and actually up until the following day. Yes, I saw most of the people who passed on, the adults, but that picture of the mother of the child, it really disturbed me a lot. I think almost the whole day. I think the most difficult situation was for me to update the public that so many bodies have already, but behind, the back of my mind, knowing that I still have more bad news coming. I think that was the most difficult situations I had to handle. As a media liaison officer on the day, or the spokesperson of the organization on the day, I think that was the most difficult situation, because now and then, as and when I'm updating the media or the residents of the city, I know that in the next 10 minutes again, I will even have more bad news, because the body count there was always increasing. So it was and on the other side, I have to reassure the residents that we are doing our best to, make sure that we manage the situation. So it was a very huge responsibility, and also I believe that it was not by my doing. I think divine interventions also came in. I think God gave us enough strength and wisdom to deal with whatever was happening on the ground there. So we have to give praises to Him, who gave us those necessary wisdom and strength to deal with what we were doing. But yeah, it was a very difficult situation, moments when, as and when I have to give updates to our communities out there. And I think we did our best, under those difficult conditions, to make sure that our communities or residents are updated. The media can be able to report on as to what is happening on the ground. Yes. So what happens is already the bodies roughly, because as and when we went into the building, we knew roughly how many bodies, like by mere looking at them or counting them on the ground, on the inside the building. But I couldn't give that information as long as the body is not out of the building and on the ground there. I am not in the position to be able to give that information out. So the plan was that as soon as the bodies are outside and it's confirmed, this is body number 1, body number 2, body number 3, they are there on the ground, then we'll be able to give that information. But at the back of my mind, of course, I knew that worse is still coming, because I already have an idea what is happening inside the building. It was scary. Like I would say, 4 bodies, I thought, okay, maybe 10, maybe 15, but now, and as soon as we got to like 20, I think another building fire which we responded to, where I think the highest number of people there who died, I think we were about 6. So I was not expecting about 6 bodies or about 10 or so. I was like, okay. But now as and when we get to 15, 20, 20, after 20, then I could see that no, this is like a disaster. This is really a tragedy, and it was a very difficult assignment for me, as the face, of the organization who's supposed to give that information. You have to find a way of relaying this bad news. On the other side, you have to reassure, the residents out there that the situation is under control. We are capable of, managing the situation. So I think, under the circumstances, we did well. But I don't want to lie to you. It was a very sad day. It was really not an easy incident to find yourself working in, but we did our best to manage the situation. I think after we have recovered almost maybe I'll say about after 10, 15 bodies, now we realized that no, you know what, there's a need for us now to activate our chaplaincy, who is our social workers or trauma counselors. We've got a chaplaincy office who deals with counseling and all, debriefing and all that. Because now we were doubling up now, because you will be doing whatever you're doing on the other side. There will be concerned loved ones of the people who have passed on, which you have to say something to, which was a very difficult situation. Hence I was saying that in some moments we were called on to be like trauma counselors, of which we are not trained to be. and on the other side we still have to do what we are supposed to do as firefighters. So as soon as they came in, at least that part now they could be able to deal with it. But I think there was a situation now which was left to us to encourage each other, because everybody was like, you know, you will be standing there and then we'll be whispering to each other to say, you know what, hey, I've never come across something like this. Somebody will be saying, hey, I've never come across something like this one. So that was a moment whereby we were giving each other courage to do what we were supposed to do. On the day, it was on Thursday morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Thursday morning. Yeah, so from 1, so we worked throughout the day, the whole day, Thursday. Then the following day, which was Friday, we were there again the whole day. The reason was that now, remember, we're operating from at night up until early hours of the morning throughout the day. Now, because there's a lot of debris in the build, on the floors, because that building is like a 5-story building. So I told you earlier on that it's actually an informal settlement inside the building. So there's a lot of materials which those people are using to build, which maybe might cover, if a body maybe is bent, it might be trapped inside that rubble. So what we did the following day, our focus was on making sure that we sweep all the floors. So we'll go floor by floor, each and every floor, from first floor up onto the last floor. Just trying to make sure that we don't have any other missing bodies which are still in the building. So what happens in the morning, South African Police Service K9 unit also came in with their dogs. We worked together just to clean up, to sweep the whole building, and then fortunately we didn't recover any other body after that. Those bodies which were recovered on the day, which was I think about 73. Personally, me, I think that feeling of losing someone you love got triggered because 2 years ago I actually lost my dad and my wife, and then in the process I lost so many close relatives and friends and even colleagues in the service. So that part was triggered, because every time when you are in in a situation like this, not emotionally okay, you will, those emotions will trigger your past trauma experience which you experienced as a person. So yeah, I was just like relaying it to the other people. They were there, and then they were also sharing their stories, and we also encouraged to say, how do we deal with this traumatic experience which we encountered as members on the ground who are responding. Because the challenge with us is that at that time, after that debriefing, you might be called to another incident where you still have to go face the very same, so that is one challenge with us, to say, how do we must allow ourselves to heal accordingly, because we will heal differently because we are in different individuals. With me, it's something which it's unbelievable, but at the back of my mind also, you still have to now move and do other things, a day after that we had a fire incident. Yesterday we had that fire incident which involved a gas leak. Now we still had to go out and do what we're supposed to do, so it's like you don't really get a time to give yourself time to deal with those emotions and all that, because now and then there's something comes up. That's why I say we deal with these things differently, but I just hope and pray that even my colleagues who are within the service, they will have that enough courage to continue to render this very important service to our residents. That's why I said earlier on, when I started, to say, I don't know where they get this bravery from. I don't know where they get this extraordinary courage, but we have to commend them for their selfless service. Every time when they are called to respond to these emergencies, they are there. They are doing their best within, under very difficult conditions. So I think I will say to our residents that, yeah, we will continue to make sure that we, as and when we are called, We will make sure that we do our best to make sure that they are protected. We render effective service to all of them on a day-to-day basis.